Hello there guys, so the last time in the anime, we saw that Ian had appraising skill. So as an adventurer his worth was nothing, because adventurers do most of appraising at the guild with magic devices. But Zoid had taken Ian in his party, just so he could do all the dirty work of collecting monster items. But unfortunately, they came across multiple dead hellhounds, and the group of beasts who attacked them showed up. So Zoid and his girl used paralysis spell on Anne to use him as bait and ran away. And they even blocked the exit and trapped Anne inside. Anne had nowhere to go, as it was either be eaten alive or die from the fall, and Anne chose the second option. Anne had endured so much until now, and with that regret, he closed his eyes to die. But hopefully he fell down near the world tree where a girl healed him up and vanished. So when Anne woke up, he thanked the world tree and chose to find his way out of the dungeon. But Ian was not a combat type, so he soon got near his death again. But a mage showed up and saved his life. And later when he woke up, this time that girl was right in front of him, and her mother told Ian to drink up the tea her daughter had prepared for him. Before he could ask anything, lady stuffed the tea in. It was good, and the girl got happier hearing that, but mother didn't. The girl's name was Yuri, and she had begged her mother to save Ian. Yuri refused to take the credit, but her mother clears up that she wouldn't have rescued Ian if it wasn't for her. Ian appreciates that, and the overprotective mom got on guard. Her name was Ursula, and she's the guardian of the world tree. The world has 9 such trees, and she guards one of them. Ursula had practically raised Yuri since she was just a plant, which explains why Yuri is a beauty. But Ursula didn't like him getting close to Yuri, but that reminds Ian that his eye was slashed off by that bear. So Ursula tells him she replaced it with a fragment of world tree. All of this was at Yuri's request. So Ian asked her why this generosity. And Yuri answered it because Ian was the first person who ever thanked her for saving him. In the past, there were some people who fell here and Yuri saved them. But instead of thanking her, when they realized the world tree, they just took branches of her. So Ian thanked her once again, but Ursula wants to kick him out in a hurry. But Ian will die again, yet Ursula didn't care. So Yuri asked Ursula for help, but as a guardian she can't go very far away from Yuri, and teleportation also doesn't work in the dungeon. So Yuri got all teary, and as an overprotective mother, Ursula gave up and decided to train the guy. Ian got happy as well that he could leave from here, so Ursula clears up that she won't tolerate any slacking in training. Then she didn't waste any time, and took Ian to the dungeon to complete his training as soon as possible, but was all pitch black, and Ursula told him to use that spirit eye of his. Ian started to feel the power in his eye, and after awakening the awareness of his new powers, he was able to see clearly in that dark room. So now comes the next step. Ursula awakened a gremlin and assigned Ian to dodge its attack. He had appraisal power, so combining it with the spirit eye will take his skill to the next level of observation. So Ian did just as Ursula told him. But he didn't use the power enough to dodge its attack, but there was no problem with it, because Ursula had brought a droplet of world tree that Yuri had given to her. So now, even if he gets sliced in pieces, Ian could continue his training, and the next time he saw a gremlin was about to attack his left leg in 5 seconds and successfully dodged it. So Ian gets a feeling, and after a week, he got the hang of basic defense skill. So now it was time for him to take step forward to offenses. But Ian had no combat skill, and Ursula knew this. But she reminds him again to use that spirit eye to turn the tables, and hands him down the wooden sword. Yuri had snapped her branch to make this, so Ursula threatened not to break it. Keeping that in mind, Ian saw Gremlin would attack his leg and counters it, but Gremlin dodges it. So Ian then tried to attack from point blank, but it didn't come in handy too, because Gremlin also knows how to dodge an attack. So for his sake, Ursula again tells him his spirit eye is special. That gives him the hint, and Ian used Super Appraiser to watch Gremlin's entire movements in slow motion and successfully landed a hit. Gremlin tasted the dust. And for the first time, Ian took down a monster more so an S-rank one, but there were many more in the vicinity. So it took a while, but Ian did take them all down. And now Ursula tells him to use Appraiser eye to copy Gremlin's skills. But Ian wasn't so sure about this, so Ursula tells him that Appraiser skill is actually reading information and copying the skill, and with the spirit eye, it is now possible to use appraisal skill to its full potential. So Ian gave it a shot and copies Gremlin's skills, but it gave him a huge headache. But then he tried on that skill, and his leg muscles were torn up, which means he just needs to train his muscles by using this skill non-stop. Because they had Yuri's droplet for healing, so Ian had to go through a series of pains again and again until his body got used to that skill. So Ian then thought of fighting that bear again. But according to Ursula, he's still far too weak for that. So Ursula allowed Ian to copy her skill, but she burned him way too fast. She's a mage who could cast any spell with just a thought, and her skill is called Discard Incantation that's very useful for mages. So she attacked him again, and this time too he missed. So Ursula again hits him, and finally this time he copied it. But as a non-mage, Ein's magic reserves were too low, but Yuri's droplet came in handy to increase it, although it works only when he's completely out of MP, so he had to deplete over time. Then, after a month, Ian got enough power, so Ursula thinks it's time for Ian to fight the Death Bear. Then they goes back to the dungeon, and Ian was having cold feet, but Ursula believes Ian could win this time, and Ian himself started to have self-confidence, so he took a step forward to attack. But his aim just sucked badly, so Ian tried out close quarter spell, and wind magic did damage, but Bear was still kicking in. So Ian again used Fireball until he hit the bear. Well, that reckless plan did work out in the end. And our episode 2 ends right there, so stay tuned to watch another episode of this anime. For that, subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to receive the latest updates. Till then, take care.